No sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of creepy stuff in the dark, that's for sure.
At least you can see the ghosts.
So we're the Ghostbusters. Yeah, you should come over here. This side. So we're the Ghostbusters. So what are we going to be doing today? Why are we taking up your time? Let's see. Well, we're going to explain who we are. We're going to talk about cosplay groups because there's a lot of them out there. There's actually more Ghostbuster groups than you'd actually think. We're going to talk about charity stuff that we've done, and of course, building props. And also,
because you can't buy this stuff at Walmart.
Yep. And then more about, finding people to hang out with in costume. And then at the end, we're gonna have a question and answer session. So.
And photo ops at the car, just in case somebody wants to see the car.
Yeah.
But really, who does that?
Right. So let's jump into it. So
here's who we are.
They both
the mustache one is me, only I don't have the mustache.
Right.
I have a.
I'm good. Who are you guys? Let's start with this guy.
My name is Neil Devlin of the Bay State Ghostbusters, Massachusetts premier Ghostbuster franchise.
We'll save it for another slide.
Okay.
Who's that guy?
I'm Ivan Ronald Shablowski of the Arkham Ghostbusters.
And I'm Art Gearhart. I'm here with my fiance Kendall, and we had our own slide. Yeah, so we'll keep going. So yeah, we've run around, done all sorts of things. Met the celebrities from the movies, right? So we are seasoned Ghostbusters.
The mustache.
Oh yeah.
So now we're going to talk about who we are and what we do. So we run around. We are part of Negate, which is the North East Ghostbusters Alliance Taskforce Ecto. So we're basically a big group of Ghostbuster friends. All come together. We all share like-minded. We have the same interests and everything. We thought we'd all come together and make like the coalition or alliance.
Even though we're all different franchises, like he said, he's Bay State. I'm Arkham, so we don't have our special little symbols. We all play nice together as part of this.
Yes. Like an organization.
All right. So what is the Bay State? You got your picture of Boston. Go ahead, buddy. Get the floor.
Bay State has been around since 2010, 2011. I actually started by a friend of mine. I like other fandoms, but I am a Ghostbuster. I mean, some people think this is a costume. People will yell, "Oh, nice costume!" No, this is a uniform. I am a Ghostbuster. I'm not, I like Star Trek, I like that, but I am a Ghostbuster first and foremost. And so we decided to make the BSGB in 2010, and we've done Boston St. Patty's Day Parade with a lot of other franchises. Oh, okay. The big thing we do, the BSGB does, is in Rhode Island. One of our members is from Rhode Island. We do the Pawtucket Paw Sox.
Minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And they had us on the field this year, and they don't have flags because I was.
It's all right.
That's every year in September, right?
August.
August this
For
year?
Halloween, yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah.
Cool. All right, next slide.
Okay.
Ooh, so creepy. What's going on?
Okay, and I'm with the Arkham Ghostbusters. Arkham being a fictional city from the writing of horror novelist H.P. Lovecraft. Arkham Asylum is actually from his stories, and DC Comics borrowed it for Batman. So sorry?
Stolen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Stolen, borrowed, yeah, tomato, tomato. Really, it's a case of almost everything Lovecraft did is in the public domain. So if somebody else wants to use it, they can, unless somebody has a specific trademark involved. You can't make a game with the word Cthulhu in the title unless you go through Chaosium. But everything else Lovecraft does is fair game. So we play with the fictional city of Arkham, which would really be anywhere in Massachusetts. Because it's Arkham, and I don't know how many of you know who Cthulhu is. He's kind of well known on the internet at least. Okay.
How much width does the bridge have?
Sorry?
We set Cthulhu
No.
down on top of a giant bridge. There's no way you're gonna win. How much HP does the bridge have?
Hit points for the bridge, yes. If you're trying to sink Cthulhu, blowing up the bridge he's on would work. But good luck getting him onto a bridge. You know, he's not a troll.
I have no idea what
Keep going,
It's all good, it's all good.
We just keep throwing it out there.
But the point is, as long as we're Ghostbusters, we might as well play in the rest of the imaginary world of H.P. Lovecraft. They did use Cthulhu on one of the cartoons once, so it sort of ties together.
Yeah, you definitely grab it. So,
And?
I'm last but not least. My name is Mike. I play the character Art Gearhart in my movie, The Ecto Epic. Here's a picture of me piloting my apocalyptic war machine in the depths of a ghost
Look
world.
at that battle piece.
Yeah, no, totally. You guys-
He has some good
There are
ones.
shots of it later, so
But
you'll see
I
just
don't have an
how
actual
awesome that
franchise
is.
logo, so I just use the traditional No Ghost logo.
Well, you did have the cool one
Yeah,
holding
that's-
the meter on that side.
that's a little different. But yeah, so I don't know. I run around. I've been a Ghostbuster ever since I was 16 for Halloween. It's like I'm gonna be a Ghostbuster, and every year since then I was a Ghostbuster. Made something new, different. Last year was the car, and so it's like, and, you know, I liked it so much. Over time, I was like, you know what? I'll make my own Ghostbuster movie. So a lot of times, I hang out with these guys, but I'm really promoting my movie that I made. So, all right, let's keep going. Yeah. So this is where we all met. Was at the Ghostbusters United St. Patrick's Day Parade a couple of years ago. As you can see, there are multiple franchises that come together for the parade. What, over 30 Ghostbusters?
That's from
Easy?
2013.
This year there were 40, yeah, this was from 2012,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 2013. There were 45 that year.
Yeah.
Last year it was, or this year.
This year we had
It was
50.
50 Ghostbusters, 4 Ectos.
Is that you with a tan? You, Mr.
On the
Jabber?
far
Right,
side
that's me.
there, in the green hat.
I'm thinking
And
that's
then
him
this,
with the
and then this is
sunglasses.
him, and
Yeah.
then Neil's somewhere in there.
I'm in the
with all-
sunglasses
So
over
you
there.
three were all in the middle, so I'm like, did you guys get a really good tan?
No.
Yes.
It's in a dark picture.
We hang out with him
The
sometimes.
sun was shining bright, so there's a lot of shadows there.
Whoops. Sorry.
Why? Why?
Sorry.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah.
Random
here's-
tree.
Here's you now. I mean,
You
you
can
can
see
see
almost
how
everybody.
many people love Ghostbusters and want to dress up and run around. So
This is the South Boston St. Patrick's Day Parade. We had people coming from as far as Iowa and South Carolina to be in this parade.
yeah. So
No, this year, 2013, we had people from Colorado, North Carolina, and then a bunch of Pennsylvania, New York, but the two big heavy ones, and I don't even see them in the picture.
it's all right.
But,
They're in there somewhere.
Yeah, they were in, but last year it was, or 2014.
So this year.
This year, we had people from, you know, North Carolina, and a lot of, you know, Maine, Massachusetts, Vermont, not Vermont, I'm sorry, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire,
Connecticut.
Rhode Island, Connecticut,
A lot of New York.
yep.
But on rare occasion, we do go to all hang out and hang out, do good stuff together. So, St. Patrick's Day is one of those things. What do we get? Like a $500 check for
Yeah,
showing
the
up and
parade
being in the parade?
gives us money to be in it, and then we donate that money to charity.
Yeah. So,
Each year it's a different one.
but so yeah.
Oh, look, there's Kendall.
That's looking good. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about the past, where you guys came from, because I showed up after you guys, so we can keep going back, right? Where did you guys hang out? Where did you guys
It really all started for me. I've been.
There's a picture of you guys. Look at that, huh?
Let's
That's a couple of years ago.
Yep. But no, I started.
Oh, you can see my eyes in that shot?
Yeah, I know.
Something's wrong with that
Your
picture.
sunglasses.
I'm the one on the end with the eyes.
So are you saying there's something wrong in your neighborhood?
So this was Salem, Massachusetts, Halloween
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Short Emperor Palpatine.
No, that he was.
He was a techno lich, to be specific.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Interesting as that.
But yeah.
There is now.
Yes, there is, and it's
Yeah, just
horrifying.
keep going with the slides meetings
Moving on.
So here's my old beginnings, way back when, with all my fellas, and a couple of these guys are in the movie with me, and the old car, so, you know, it's like we all come from somewhere. This is what
I thought you were just
the first
chilling
year.
on top of the car.
You gotta hang out
like
on
a
top of
boss.
the car. If it's your car, you
Like a
know.
boss. Like a boss.
Yep, and then of course now we have the new car, which looks great.
Has
Running
seen
around
in the window.
Yep. So now let's talk about Salem, not last year.
2013 Halloween,
Right.
Salem, Massachusetts. We came, these guys came, I came from, you know, our own little groups. We also had somebody there from the main Ghostbusters. We have, I'm not sure where she's from. Angela?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
involved
She's a
with
friend-
us.
Another Ghostbuster. People from all over came in, and this particular year we came in first place in Salem's costume contest. Again, $500 that we donated to charities.
Yep, so talking about said money, so we got all this money, we said, what should we do? Should we have a party? Should we buy a lot of food? What should we do? We said, no, you know, we do a lot of charity work, let's give it away. So we did $100 increments to 5 different charities. So the Dana-Farber Cancer Research Institute, the Boston Children's Hospital, all the members said where they wanted the money to go to.
Pettingill
Pettingill,
and
Food
Merrimack
Cancer.
are, they're both charities in, North, I'm from Salisbury. If you ever look at a map of Massachusetts, the northeastmost part of the state, that's Salisbury. And, Pettingill House is like, they help with like, you know, providing food for the homeless and all that stuff. And Merrimack River Feline Rescue Society is a home for stray cats. So, they all, you know.
They needed it, yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one, a good friend of ours is deathly allergic to peanuts. So much so, like, a little bit of residue set her off and she almost died. She's 3 years old, or 4 years old. And so they had to raise money to get her a service dog. And they did, they finally got her a service dog. But I flew her down in North Carolina, and I flew down there last year around this time.
To
We
deliver the
donated
money
to her,
Yeah, no, that's great. Alright, so me and Kendall, we were in the newspaper for this one, the Woburn Halloween Parade. It was a great time, but it was a lot of work. So we do all sorts of charity events and, you know, obviously
We
parades.
do parades, we
Yeah.
do conventions, even small ones like this one.
I was at the, last year, we were in the paper for the Salem Evening News for, Salem,
Yeah,
yeah,
for the 2013 Halloween
yes.
signing
And
of
we're
us.
also on, 7 News,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's also other events we try to run around. Sometimes it'd be hard if you're cosplaying something else, but Ghostbusters seems to fit in most places. This is a picture from
Zombie
the
walks are
walk.
very popular now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salem, Massachusetts has a zombie walk. Last year it was in September, this year it's October. I was not a Ghostbuster for this one, I'm the one in the center. But,
Yeah, you got
Clark is
Ghostbusters.
right here
Yeah.
as a zombie Ghostbuster.
But yeah, I mean, we're always looking for different things to do. Here's another great event that came up, Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, Free Comic Book Day up in Rochester, New Hampshire.
It's always the first Saturday of May.
Yep. And what Rochester does is, there's this store called Jetpack. Do you guys know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Kevin Eastman, and
Turtle
Eastman and Leia, the creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they have them at a like small little auditorium or whatever, and they're signing autographs, and then this.
The whole
Jetpack
downtown
Comics-
area turns into a festival.
Yeah,
for
they give
free
comics to
comic
each of the
books.
stores, so kids go into each of the store and get free comics. So, we do that every year.
Yeah.
Big excuse to cosplay, really.
Yeah.
And what does cosplay mean?
Cosplay.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Now you all know.
How to cosplay properly.
So, here's some more pictures from other events. We went to a tabletop gaming convention. Not necessarily, you know, for cosplay, but we went to go check out.
We came, we saw, we played a lot of games, it was
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun. So, there's definitely lots of ways. Here we are at the Harold Ramis tribute night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm sorry, when this guy, we don't, his name is Rod, but
Yeah.
when he walked in, we didn't even know he was gonna be there. He pretty much looks very close to, Harold Ramis, so when he walked in, our mouths dropped. And-
Yeah, he looked just like Egon from the first Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And we were not expecting that.
No, we weren't. So.
Especially not at a tribute to Harold
I know,
Ramis.
right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just run around having fun.
Mini
all
Makers
together.
Fair
Yeah.
in Dover, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have anything to do with Ghostbusters, but hey, it's an excuse to
That's
show
it.
up, show off some of what we do, see what other people do.
If anything, because it's a maker fair, it's like we make our
Yeah,
equipment.
and we do make this own
Yeah,
equipment.
so. Keep going. So, oh, what's this? I
That
had
was-
nothing to do with this one, you guys.
That was actually out in, Woburn, I believe?
Worcester.
Worcester, yeah. Halloween outlet, they invited us last year, we couldn't make it this year, and that's actually the mayor of Worcester.
Yeah, the mayor wanted to hang with us for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you got
Probably
it as a
mayor.
Ghostbuster.
And this was this year's,
Haunted Happenings Parade in Salem, Mass.
yep. Yep, we have, they actually, we have another picture of the car. That's actually a pretty accurate,
Version of the Ecto 1 from
yeah,
Ghostbusters.
it's,
So it's a modified version?
Huh?
Yeah.
It actually is,
Yeah,
yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, if.
That one is
Yeah.
it's a 58, isn't it?
I believe so,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a 58 Caddy hearse.
The one in the movie was a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor, and so,
But everybody comes out of the woodworks
Yeah.
for parades,
Yep.
especially in Halloween.
More guys from Maine here, guys from the Salem, New Hampshire group.
yep. That guy right there, he's a big cosplayer out of Maine. He does, well, that's a
Iron Man inspired Ghostbusters
Ghostbuster,
outfit.
but he also does Iron Man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he has his own Iron Man armor that he builds.
So how
Iron
does he
Man-
use the bathroom?
You don't need
Very
to ask
careful.
that question.
You go before you leave.
Yeah.
Or you can go now.
So, I think this is more pictures of us
This
in
is
around.
showing why crossing the streams is bad.
Yeah.
Apparently it melted my glasses.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing anything there. My face looks weird.
So, here's some more pictures. So that old Cadillac hearse, the guy has two cars, but pictures of us at Screamfest in Canterbury Lake Park. So the whole month of October, they run around entertaining guests, and by the Ghostbusters run around getting their picture taken at Canterbury Lake Park raises over $7,000
You're good, you're not in it.
per
For the Clean River
year
Project.
for the Clean River Project. So it's real fantastic. It's like, you would think running around dressing up wouldn't make a lot of money, but apparently it does. So we also do other events at other libraries. We did.
This was at Topsfield Library this year.
I wasn't
Yes.
there either.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's alright. Well, after they called us after the Star Wars people canceled,
Yeah.
and we came and we saved the day. So
Well, you usually say the day, so.
Well, maybe that's sure.
yeah.
Isn't the state plus marshmallow man supposed to be it?
He's also supposed to be really, really tall. What's your
Yes.
point?
Yes, picture from this Halloween.
That's
So.
what
I have no
Yeah.
idea who that guy is.
I don't know either. He was.
He
I don't
was
think
just
that's a
one of
real
the many people who wanted to get a picture with us.
All I see is a really big, really delicious marshmallow.
No, I don't even see his face.
And that's how we defeated him, too.
Yeah.
He just ate from.
No, what happens is when we
Oh, no.
do these events, especially in
That's supposed to be
Salem,
like in your
uh,
shop or something.
we'll have people every 5 minutes just ask, not even 5 minutes, every minute ask us for pictures.
Yeah, when there's a lot of us together, especially if there's a big crowd, people stop us, they all want to pose for pictures with us.
Yeah.
We
Last
do that a lot.
Last year there was a group of 9, and this year was a group of like 7 or 8, and it was just amazing where you'll just see all these like flashes coming at you, and you know.
We're not the most impressive costumes out there,
Actually,
but I think the fact that there were so many of us and we,
yes.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a group costume. I mean, that's why we had state.
the streams in there are Photoshopped, yes.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, full movie magic.
That
Yeah.
guy, that is full plate armor.
Yeah.
Very heavy full plate
Is
armor.
that why the streams are going inside?
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, that's Neil kneeling there.
Without a beard.
They were trying to clean his ears.
It didn't work.
Yeah, this was you guys in the summertime.
Yes, when they re-released Ghostbusters in the theaters for the 30th anniversary, we came, we saw the movie, and we paid our $10.
Alright, so now we're gonna talk about, I think, building stuff. It's the research and development. So, yeah, let's keep going.
Neil,
Yes.
if you could come around and face the screen.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can see. I mean, what do you guys
Actually,
think?
scoot over just a little so they can see the picture on there, and then we can look at your pack.
It's like, I mean, you can tell. I mean, it is how close you get to movie accurate, right? It's kind of like, how close can you get to being perfect, right? Sometimes when we go to meet the actors and actresses who are in the movies, they say that our equipment looks better than what was actually used in the movie, which we think that's absolutely astounding. But it does happen. So.
When we went to Halloween Outlet, there was a man there who works for Ruby's that wanted to do casts of our gear in order to make the screen accurate deluxe costumes.
Yeah, he wanted us to,
that fell through, but...
Yeah, he never called us. But, no, I would, I guess I'll explain the pack.
Let's go to the next slide, it's got a lot of the parts.
Oh, that
Yeah, this is probably what you're looking for.
Okay.
I just wanted them to see a screen accurate pack.
The pack itself has been, there's a great online fan community, Chibi fans, which has been many different things during the years, but Chibi fans is the current website. And they, there's no in-universe name for all the parts of the pack.
They
So
don't
a bunch
even
of
mention
fans.
the word proton pack in the first movie at
Until
all.
the second movie
Yes.
is, Don, I think, says, oh, we should get a proton
Yeah,
pack.
it's only one.
And, so what happened was back in 1999, far off time of 1999, a bunch of fans got together and they named each part of the pack. As you can see, iron arm booster, EVA, gearbox, crank generator, which is gearbox is right here.
And all the other words on the screen.
Yes.
But, it's just funny that the fans came together and made up the names for all the pieces
Yeah,
of
we
the pack.
broke down the technology to say what is exactly what, which also defines what its purpose is on the pack.
My pack is made out of, I love that.
Give me more next slide.
Moving on.
So, moving on.
My pack, packs can cost anywhere from like a couple, dollars at a website, couple dollars at a dollar store to a couple $1,000, which mine is more on the end of.
Let me just describe this slide real fast.
Okay.
So when you're talking about GB fans, on the Ghostbuster fan website, they have the plans on how to make these things. There's something that you can totally make. Like, this is just a big block of wood that you cut into the different dimensions, and it makes this piece that sticks out in the corner. So it's like, they have all the plans, this is kind of what they look like. They describe what you're making, the dimensions, and how to make it. This tells you how to stuff the hose and the tube and everything, and how to fix it in there so it won't fall apart. So, they're all there. I mean, usually download them and they're like 11 to 25 pages depending on how detailed the instructions are. But they are there and they tell you what you need to buy and what to get to make the pack.
If you have the tools, the time, and the money, you can build these things.
Yeah. So, so, I mean, going way back, I mean, we'll talk about your pack in a second, but, I mean, you guys see this pack right here in front of you. I mean, this is what it used to look like. I mean, it comes a long way. It's mostly the paint job, and the more time and energy you put into it, the better it's obviously going to look. If you spend 20 minutes on it, it's going to look like you only spent 20
And
minutes.
any costume, that doesn't only apply to Ghostbusters. If you decide to make any decent looking costume, you're going to keep putting work, probably keep putting money into it to keep it looking good. and make improvements all the time.
Alright, keep going, you guys.
That's me showing one.
So here's a proton pack shell. So some packs come kind of prefabricated as a fiberglass resin copy.
What they do is they make a, I have no idea whose shell that is actually, but they make a master. And then what they do, they use silicone to make a
Cast.
mold. So then once they make the mold, they use a top coat of resin, which that gray stuff is, and then they use fiberglass, and then they just almost like paper mache, but you don't want to breathe it in because it's not good. Anyway, they just lay it down, and then it dries, and then you have a fiberglass copy. And the shells themselves normally run around $350, and then take a bunch of screws and drills and paints and
You know what the terrible
epoxy.
thing is you wait so long to get the shell, and when it finally comes, you have to drill a bunch of holes into it. It's like, so here's another one made of EVA foam, exercise foam. It's like a medium to thick density foam. A lot of people are using it for costumes, especially to make like Iron Man and Halo armor. It's nice and lightweight, and you only need a pair of scissors to make your whole pack. So it's another way.
Scissors and hot glue.
You can go from this to looking at movie quality easily. So it all depends on.
I think I saw that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah. We got more pictures of the guts. Like on the inside of my pack, I've got all these like weird little wooden blocks and stuff like that. Like you would look at it and you wouldn't think that there's some goofy little tubes and chunks of wood in there, but there are. So
It's greater than the sum of its parts.
yeah, it totally is. So here's a picture from I don't know, was it Sony?
Probably Planet
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
So it's like, there's different ways to get there. You can, go the all carpentry method like I did, making that thing completely out of wood, fiberglass resin molding, and then now what's becoming really big is 3D printing. People are
3D printing individual
packs.
pieces, put them together.
But what actually happened, the reason why there's plans, and a bunch of people went out to California, had friends of friends, that they got their hands on the actual packs, and then they measured them, and they made those plans available, or the pictures at least, available to other people to make plans, and that's how.
They figured out how to make exactly what they have the pictures of.
Yes.
And then they told everybody else.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna take the stand for a second. So I talked to you guys about, dressing up for Halloween. That's fun and all. I wasn't really big into Ghostbuster charity events and stuff because I didn't know anything about it until I started hanging out with these guys more. But I was thinking, it'd be so cool. We got our cool looking costumes. Why not make our own Ghostbuster movie? So after spending 3 years and like a pretty big budget, I got to make my own Ghostbuster movie. So in the movie, it's like I play that character Art Gearhart, who's a brand new Ghostbuster. He wants to excel his career as a Ghostbuster, and you can't really see it. Well, maybe in another slide. There it is. This machine, the infrasonic ecto emitter. It's supposed to, summon ghost energy or bring it about, but he does an experiment that goes awfully wrong and somehow creates Armageddon. So he's got to kind of clean up his own mess. But in the meantime, I get to jump in a giant robot costume and save the world. So
we have a question.
Oh yeah.
Could you go back to the green picture? That triangle.
This one?
That triangle right there.
Yeah.
The Triforce.
Let's say it's inspired by the Triforce.
And also on the, if you remember the old Real Ghostbuster toy line, they had a lot of the stickers that I put on that machine were from the toys. So. Yeah.
And that was before the days of
way
Lincoln.
back when. Alright, here's a picture of the giant robot costume. So this is a picture, so this is all EVA foam. These are drywall sculpts. So when I was wearing this, I think I was, I don't know, what, like 8.5 feet tall?
About 9 feet with everything on the top.
So it's like it was a giant backpack and then with arms that attached. So keep going.
Did you ever fall with that?
No, luckily I didn't. Otherwise, I'd probably kill somebody. So here's a picture of me with it on in the garage, right?
Yeah.
That was like the first test.
Lets you see what he's actually wearing.
Now the thing is so big, it's almost debilitating. I mean, you can see me trapped in there. It's like, guys, let me out, please. Right?
That was a fun
and it's
photo
like,
to
that was
take.
after filming for. It could only wear it for like 15 to 20 minutes at a time without being really uncomfortable.
But in the middle shot, you can see he just looks cool as heck.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna play. Yep. So I'm gonna play a little video for you guys and show you a little bit about the green screen.
I like how the blank paper, like,
And then everything ended.
and everybody just died from the ghost attack. No, everybody just died, there you go. Everybody died. Like, you can stuff.
Okay, here's some test footage he made while making his movie.
Let me, I don't know if the audience can see.
Oh, I might have,
That was probably the last thing. No.
I'm gonna worry about
Yeah,
that
just
because
plug it
I'm
into
like
the front.
bad at it.
The next guy's saying.
Hello?
Oh yeah, I kind of totally forgot about something much while they're doing this. This pack, and also mine and his, we all have electronics. His actually has a bunch of EL wire and the tubes are supposed to be, so it makes it, a lot more visible at night. And then if you can see some EL wire here, which is just, the movie Tron?
Yes.
A lot of people use the EL wire for the Tron suits. Also mine has a light kit, or is my lights off?
Your lights are off.
Your lights are on. They're on?
No, just the gun's on.
Yeah, the gun, the pack itself is off.
The battery's dead. Can you switch up?
Which do you want? You want it all the way off there?
Alright, you guys.
No. You're ready then.
Let's see if this works. So, it's really quiet. But you can see, we were in a warehouse, and it's just green screen. So, that's reminiscent of the movie Aliens. So, here I am, in front of the green screen. It's, it's just, I'm in a warehouse, my friends are there, we have lights on either side, and this is just the camera. Afterwards, you do all this stuff on the computer. I had this image in my head for 3 years.
And he was able to make it a reality with his awesome costuming skills and a green screen.
Alright, it's like from Aliens. So, if you can notice, really, you guys see this line right here? That's kind of like, oh no, it's screen light. That's on here. But no, there are some things that you can see, like the tip of the gun gets cut off. If you notice, it's like, so these two things were filmed independently of each other. It's like this was done one day, this was done the day prior. And you'll actually see, so the guy in the giant costume, right? Here we are in the warehouse. I'm running around with no shirt on because it's so hot. It's the middle of August. We're in a warehouse with no ventilation. I told this guy, well, because I thought I was gonna. That's the thing, is lining up the shots and doing your own directing. So you'll see. So from me doing this, you'll see what this turned into in a second. The hardest things here with the green screen is see these clips up here where it goes off. You have the green screen from there to there. It's like parts where it disappears. So, but it's like, we had the costumes. We ended up writing the movie. And it's like now we're running around filming the movie. Oh, here, we're simple, right? We're just hanging out on the green screen. Right? We remove the green screen, we add in the background, add some special effects, right? And it makes the scene. So here's another take of that scene. And they're talking about the emitter with the Taskforce. And that's what you guys were looking at. I mean, that's all it is. So You think about all the movies in Hollywood, oh, you know, Tron, oh, it's so crazy and far out, but, you know, they just sit in a room with all the green screen. It's amazing what computers do nowadays, because you don't really have to have a lot of talent or anything like that. It's just, it's amazing.
And you can have your own mighty sword.
Yeah. And that's just me running around with no shirt on, taking pictures of this guy.
So yes, with just a little money and a decent computer, you can have Art with no shirt on taking pictures.
Yeah.
Sold.
It
Sold.
was hot. It was hot. I felt bad because he was in that costume.
Yeah, he felt bad too.
Right? Now you'll see what we're trying to do, right? So we're fighting the Slar.
Slar with laser eyes.
Yep. So that's what we just filmed, right? Him getting wiggle. I said wiggle your foot. Yeah, I mean it. So the other hard things to really do are see these shadows on the green screen. It's like when you do the layering and everything, it's sometimes hard for the program to remove those shadows. So you have to increase or decrease the elements that use the green screen to remove it. So yeah, so yeah, like there's so many examples of where the green screen.
Ooh, where did that sword come from?
It came from the book.
I like how she's wearing green sleeves.
Yeah.
Because
And how do you think they do that in those stories and all this other things?
yeah, I held that sword.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I hate when things backfire on me. So there's me setting up the shot, right? How am I going to stand? Oh, I'll stand like this.
Unfortunately, there is no shirtless Art to set that shot up. Andy!
Well, you don't know how difficult it is to direct and be in the same movie. Well, think about you'll start wrapping it up, and we'll get ready for our Christmas dances. But if you guys want to see more, it's online. It's called Ecto Epic. It's all green screen. We made it ourselves. Oh, you like the Doomsday Door, huh?
The Doomsday Door is a nice touch, I think.
Yeah. That's good. It's cute. It's also evil.
I like to imagine it's a chocolate bar,
Right?
because I like chocolate.
But since you're not opening your which that's exactly what Art does with the machine.
Doesn't that mean it's Doomsday now?
Yeah. Today.
Oh. I'm afraid I missed it.
So the machine was real. That was a real prop. That was a picture of me standing in front of it. I have, however, since then taken apart.
But that prop was made of foam again, right?
Yep, it was foam and then it had a base that was made out of wood.
It looks complicated, but it's not really.
Alright, so it's a little bit more evil. But you guys can see that if you want to watch the movie.
Where's?
You put on your.
Basically, it was just pushing against
Yeah.
So yeah, what? You guys have any questions? We're totally here for you.
I have a question. How do you make your props convention friendly?
Oh yeah, because they always have the regulations and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
I didn't know.
So, I mean, I always explain them. So, like, with this one, I have this thing that is plugged in here. I can't get it out now. But like, I mean, there's something in there. You can't shoot anything. So it's like, it's all plugged up. Yeah, because a lot of times they say it has to be foam or cardboard weapons only, right?
Well,
So,
also they have like no moving parts, no working metal.
Yep. And it's like, and I think about this thing, like, sometimes if I'm getting out of the elevator the wrong way, I'm gonna take somebody out because of a giant hunk of wood.
Yeah, I got stuff sticking out on the left and the right as well as in the back. So.
Yeah.
It's funny how people might get.
So how do you make it convention friendly? It's it's like you really just gotta talk to people and explain to them. It's like, you know, we're just walking boom boxes and light shows. You know, it doesn't shoot anything, but you know, still, it's like, you know, we just run around. It's like, you know, cops look at us weird, security guards look at us weird. It's like, you know, they don't know if it's a bomb or what it is. So.
But usually, if you just tell them what you're doing, they're cool with it, or they'll ask us to put it away, and we put it away.
But most of the time,
there's no use fighting about it.
Most of the time, they just ask us for our picture.
Yeah.
Okay, then I was curious, because I sympathize with you guys. I'm sure you're carrying a 6-foot-long cannon.
Yeah, no, how could that not be easy?
Luckily, most people know Ghostbusters, so they know what this is supposed to be. If they see something that's a 6-foot cannon, they might think it's an actual 6-foot cannon being carried by you.
Hey,
That can happen.
Hold on, you are. I carry it. It works.
We are lucky with all that. I mean, this symbol.
This thing's got a PVC pipe in it.
75% of people recognize and know what it is. So, like running around in public, I mean, we are almost accepted anywhere we go. And I mean, plus I'm driving around in a car too. It's like people see that, like, well, is that the Google car? I'm like, yeah, you better believe it. Yeah.
When driving here, I can tell you how much we have people just with cell phones driving by. Actually, I checked Instagram after, and we had a couple like tags.
We were still on our way here. You already seen pictures of us on
Yes,
Instagram.
yeah.
That's awesome.
You guys got any other questions? All right.
Guys, to get them set up, like, how you use the costume and all this.
Like I said, I started out when I was 16. When I was 16, I started with a flight suit and a belt. I didn't even think I had elbow pads back then. And then, yeah, my goal every year from Halloween to next Halloween was to make something new. New elbow pads, new belt, new goggle things, get a new brand new hat. So it's really a product of me running around doing this year after year after year.
Yeah.
So
This
how about you guys?
was done in a couple days.
Yeah, pretty much one night.
No, 2 nights, but I mean, it was built off of something I'd originally done over the course of 2 weeks, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just having a concept in mind that you want to do. If you want to do something that's screen accurate, like Neil's here, it's going to take a longer time. Whereas this one, I was just having fun with ideas based on Ghostbusters and based on Lovecraft stories to come up with something that I thought would fit into both worlds.
My pack has been in building process since about 2011. It's still not done, but that's more of me
Being a perfectionist?
procrastinating. Maybe.
Same thing. Yeah.
Like, you know, let's play some Pokemon instead of building your pack. Or us.
The other thing I want to ask you.
But now,
Here's a question.
I was gonna ask you how you feel about the talk about the remake.
oh man, I was just gonna ask.
I'll take this one. Okay. There have been a lot of remakes over the last 15 years or so. Most of them do not stand up to the originals.
Nothing stands up to the original.
RoboCop had a remake. Total Recall had a remake. Freddy Krueger's remake was awful.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought the Friday the 13th remake was okay. Basically, if the movie makers respect the original material, you might get something good. Rob Zombie's Halloween, I thought was really good. I still like the original better. It does not replace anything for me. It's just another movie. I don't think the new movie is going to actually be Paul Feig's vision of, you know, his all-female Ghostbuster team. We have seen, since 1997, many attempts at starting a new Ghostbusters movie. They've said, okay, we've got this person writing a script. We've got these people agreeing to be in it. We've got Bill Murray on board. We don't have Bill Murray on board. None of that matters until something goes into production.
There's a good video online of the GB of Ghostbusters of British Columbia. They went through, since about 1999, they went through, you know, they hired people before to write the script. They've, you know, tried tacking on other people to write the script. It's been in basically development hell, since at least, you know, the early 1999. It was supposed to be Ghostbusters in Hell, then it was supposed to be, you know, given to a new, team. Dan Aykroyd actually had said to me, like, oh yeah, you should, once we, you know, Dan Aykroyd has been a cheerleader. Every time you see him, he'll always say, oh yeah, it's starring in...
Next spring. It's always next spring.
Both him and Ernie Hudson both been like...
Ernie Hudson has been a big proponent of being in it, but if there's a steady paycheck in it, he'll be in anything. And I say that, but it's true, and he'll tell you as much.
Yeah.
If you see him at a convention,
Oh, yeah.
and he talks about it. His biggest disappointments with the Ghostbusters movies is that they cut down his role to be so small.
He's the I see him at many shows and he'll dress, put the whole,
Yeah.
whole uniform on.
He loves the fans. He
Yeah.
loves supporting it. He loves supporting us.
I hug them.
You know, there was a picture with Ernie Hudson.
So, and then my other thing is, I made Ghostbusters 3 with my cooking movies.
Yeah. He likes to call his movie Ghostbusters 3 because
It's a 3-part miniseries.
yeah, it's a 3-part miniseries and it's actually there. You can watch it.
Yeah.
But it all boils down to, will I go to see, you know, whatever this new Ghostbusters movie is? Yes. Will I, you know,
Take it apart? Yes.
I
don't
pick
know.
everything apart. I pick apart the movies I love. Of course I'm going to pick this apart.
But that's there's a bunch of things I can, like, since being a, you know, a Ghostbuster, watching movies, I kind of watch them in a different light because I notice things, you know, after staring at the proton pack, pictures of the proton pack.
Can you rewind a second? I want to see that part again.
Oh.
There you go.
Pictures of the proton pack. You know, I was watching, what movie was it? It was, this a couple of years ago. It was,
Was it Ghostbusters?
no.
Was it Ghostbusters?
No.
It's an Ender's Game.
Oh.
And there's a scene where they're, you know, telling people to, you know, he's, in charge of ships, and they're using, like, Razor keyboards. You know, found items. The movie I dislike for props the most is, this has nothing to do with Ghostbusters, but it's,
Or Ender's Game, doesn't it?
Huh?
You just mentioned Ender's Game and you didn't really tell us why.
Yeah, no, because I noticed things in that movie, like the
Okay, I see what you're
Razor
saying.
keyboards
Yeah.
that they use.
Well, actually, kind of coming off of what you're talking about, using, you know, interesting found items as part of your props or incorporating them. I was wondering, what's the most interesting thing you've ever incorporated into part of your equipment as Ghostbuster?
Well, this one's got a Nerf gun for this right here.
The one thing that I've had, and I don't think we have pictures of, I don't even have it. There's a device called the Cub Meter. It was used about 5 minutes in Ghostbusters 2. It's a metal detector with that's sawed off
Yeah.
with a
spatula.
spatula and a potato strainer.
Nice.
Now, half the people that when I, you know, wheel that around, they don't really recognize it from the movies. They just see that it has a potato masher and a kitchen strainer, so they're kind of like, oh, cool. And that's about it.
But yeah, that's what they did when they made the movie, was they used, like, the original, this right here, when they invented their PKE meter, this is a shoe polisher. A shoe polisher with wings and lights on it.
It's an actual, the shell is an Iona shoe polisher. If you remember Ghostbusters 2, they have a device called the Gigameter. That was a thing called the scrub and buffer. So like now, and this is actually a, it's a pass device. Sorry. It's actually what we were for, were like back
That would
in
be
the 70s,
extraordinarily
80s.
bad.
firefighters would wear these devices, and if they were incapacitated, it would go off, and other firefighters.
You're not gonna do it
would
again.
find them.
Oh, okay.
And
Not when you're watching.
That's all.
actually, well, yeah. Someone actually, I used to kneel down a lot for pictures, and as you saw, and someone actually put one of these right in my ear.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Now, these things are allowed, but
Really?
And doing them in a crowded theater could cause a panic. So never do it in a crowded theater.
There's a story behind
What
this.
happened?
Whoa.
we were at a.
This was the first event that you and I did together.
Yes.
Really?
Yep, and this was a couple years back, and my belt was twisted, so I was trying to, fix it, and
So
so I,
to phrase this here, we had been called to go up on stage
yes,
in front of everybody in a crowded theater because they were showing the movie Ghostbusters. They were doing this little Q&A thing and decided, oh, since we actually have some Ghostbusters in the audience, why don't you guys come up?
and so we came up, and first I whip out my PK meter, and I'm just going around doing the scanning. It's like this. And everyone's just kind of laughing.
Ectobiologist.
And then this goes off. And I didn't look up, but if I did, I would imagine the whole, and it was a pretty packed theater. The Coolidge Corner Theater in Boston. And I didn't look up, but I just felt all these eyes directly on me. And then I could hear, oh, no sirens in the auditorium, please. But
Yeah, because technically that could have caused a stampede, everybody running for the exits.
And you just did it all to yourself.
Yes, and we would have had the police all to ourselves too when they showed up.
So, back to answering the question, my favorite or most miscellaneous thing, this is a cake pan.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, makes sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
Hold
like
on.
awesome. It's like the perfect thing. It looks
Hun.
like it. And
The,
Mike.
the other pack that I have that looks more like the one from the
Sorry.
movies is also a cake pan.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing to drill holes into it to make these things go around. But once you get it done, it's wonderful.
actually, to get on the very early proton pack plans, they didn't know how to actually make the cyclotron. That's what that is called. So early proton pack plans actually use a cake pan. And in my shell, the master I was explaining, later versions of his shell, he actually, sanded and all that stuff. But he found a pretty accurate looking cake pan, and that's what he used. So he built, everything, all of this other stuff, but the cyclotron, its original was a cake pan.
Yeah. Cake pan. Yep.
Number one answer, cake pan.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you, buddy? What's your favorite thing to use for your costume, for your belt, pants?
Well, like I said, this Nerf gun base right here that replaces what would be a cyclotron if this was a real pack.
Yeah.
That was just a perfect find.
It sure is.
It looks right. But since this one isn't supposed to be anything like the one in the movie, I'm not worried about finding something that looks like something from the movie when I build it. So this has just, whatever bells and whistles I thought would look cool.
You guys got any other questions?
How awesome are you guys?
Very awesome.
We're actually 12% more awesome than we were last time we came.
Yeah.
So
I can vouch.
we got that going for us.
No! I have to put my little pony. Yay!
What? Yes.
Well, 12% we're on our way, okay? Give us a break. So the only thing left to ask is who wants to go out and see the car?
Oh yeah. We'll answer all other questions. Nobody asked us if ghosts are real.
Our ghosts are real, and those people are real.
Yes.
Yes, and you don't like cell phones.
You don't like cell phones.
Some ghosts can be seen by cell phones, and some ghosts actually can be killed by cell phones.
Have you ever played a game with Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah, yeah, it does have elements similar to Ghostbusters.
It does.
Yeah. A lot of games you think have. Yeah.
Orbs?